How to protect your Windows 10 machines if you're not upgrading them once they become end of life. On the 16th of October 2025, Windows 10 will become end of life. What does that mean? That means that Microsoft will stop supporting them. They'll stop pushing security updates and patches to those operating systems, so the machines will become vulnerable. So we've come up with different areas that you need to look at to ensure that those end of life machines stay as secure as possible. Right, the first area is to use limited access accounts. Make sure that if anyone is still using a Windows 10 device, that it's got a limited access. If it's an admin account, it means that anyone that gains access to that machine and the admin account, they can access the entire machine. Whereas if they gain access and it's a limited account, then there's not really that much they can do. So within that structure, it will secure the machine more. Number two is make sure you're still using security software. All because Windows 10 is end of life doesn't mean that all the software around it becomes end of life. Things like your antivirus, firewalls, ransomware protection, all of those things, it's really important that they stay up to date. Number three is make sure you still use multi-factor authentication. So any of the software that those machines are running and also logging into the main machine need to have that multi-factor authentication, so that then if anyone gets into the unsecured device, hopefully it will be limited as to what else they can do. Whereas if you've got it wide open, connected to all of your other machines, they'll be able to get into the Windows 10 machine, and then they'll effectively have the keys to the kingdom for accessing everything else. Whereas you need to make sure that you're limiting what they can and can't do. The fourth element is to make sure you ring fence those machines. So you're either going to ring fence them so that they're not connected to the rest of the network, and also they're ideally not connected to the internet. If it's connected to the internet, that is the main area that it's going to have vulnerabilities. So make sure you ring fence the machine, and if you really have to still run a Windows 10 machine, you could actually run it in a virtual environment. So that means you'll be using a safe and secure box that's say Windows 11, and then running a Windows 10 virtual environment within that. So you've still got that protection, but ring fencing it is really important. Number five is backup regularly. When we say regularly, depending on how often the machine's being used, ideally a few times a day. The reason is that as the device gets older, the hardware is going to become more vulnerable, so it could just fail as a machine, but also the holes are going to get bigger where the hackers are going to use to be able to access the device. So just make sure that you're taking really big snapshots of that device, so that if it's fully ring fenced and something happens to it, you don't lose any of your important data or the configuration files that it's probably running to connect to the other devices. And the final stage is make sure you're encrypting the disks. So this means that if they don't have the proper passwords and logins, then if they were to access any of the data, it wouldn't be usable anyway. So just make sure that you are fully encrypting it. And these sorts of tools come as free if it's a professional operating system. So in conclusion, we're not necessarily saying that Windows 10 is a good idea once it's end of life, but we understand that you may need to continue using it, so just minimize the usage. Don't go on the internet unless you absolutely have to, but use different security methods for accessing anything if you do need to go on the internet. But ideally no internet, fully ring fenced, and then just manually add data to it. So if you're unsure on how to ring fence any of the machines, and also if you do have cyber insurance, you've got to be really careful, because often this may void having any type of cyber insurance. But if you're not sure of how the setup can be and what's the best practice, or maybe you just need help in updating your disaster recovery plan, then Syn-Star can help. So please click on the link, and we'd love to discuss how Syn-Star can start helping you secure your Windows 10 devices.